Hello, and thank you so much for joining this episode of Price on Purpose. I am your host, Stacy Price. Oh my goodness, guys. I hope you are having a good start to the new year of 2022. The year itself sounds are just like waiting patiently for like the flying cars. It's probably not realistic, but that's what I feel. But anyway, guys, I hope you've been enjoying the episodes of Price on Purpose. My goal is always to provide you with a different perspective and to help you to not only learn about yourself, but learn about what you want, learn about what your desires are, and not just learn about them, but to go and get them as well. Not just to be like, oh, that sounds like a great idea, and then do nothing, because I've been there before. It sucks. So gratefully so, I've been on Spontaneity, which is a show by Maria Daniels and myself. And pretty much we discuss how to live a more spontaneous life, right? I know for me, I've been a very, what I call cookie cutter person, where it's like, I'm going to stay inside of this circle, and everything outside of that circle, I will never try ever, right? I used to like be in that space, and I'm coming out of that space now because I'm learning to love myself a little bit more. And I'll share this with you. So we spoke about money, and we touched upon different aspects of our relationship with money and what we thought it was, and things like that. And if you go back in the episodes that I've done on Price on Purpose, you'll see an episode with Christine Regan Lake. I don't remember if we recorded it. I have to see, but literally she's an amazing healer, amazing spiritual guide, I would say. So make sure you reach out to her. I'm going to make sure that I put like a link so you guys can listen back to this episode. But I don't remember if we recorded it or not. But I learned about some ideas that I had about money, because I think there's some mysteries and some ideas about money that come across to us in society, or potentially our upbringing, that we may not be aware of. So I'm going to share mine. You know, I'm just going to be blatantly upfront, I should say, not obvious, about what I used to think about money and what I'm working through to let go of that idea. So with money, I used to think it was the root of all evil, because that was a quote that I heard. I heard people say that money's the root of all evil, and that's where I began to feel like money was a horrible thing, right? I thought that money is what made people greedy. I thought money is what people used to hurt other people. I thought money was a way that people escaped from crime. That may or may not be true these days, but whatever. But yeah, and also, here's the thing that I want to express. For me, I didn't realize how much of that perception messed with my relationship with how I used money, right? I didn't use it responsibly in the beginning. Like I'll never forget, I went on this trip to Vegas, and I spent I was really good at saving. Really, really good at saving. And I was very good at, and I still am, I'm just learning to get that relationship back again. But I was really good at saving, and I went to Vegas and I just blew it all. Like my savings was gone, and I never got it back really until maybe a couple years ago. I had a great 401k, and eventually what happened is I found myself in a situation where I had to move out, and I had to tap into that 401k, and there I went. Now, what I realized is that money was there for me to use in those moments to pivot out of whatever I needed to do. So I started to understand a different relationship with money, that it was there for me to use, and it can be helpful in times of need. So now I don't really think about money as it being the root of all evil. Now I think about money as a tool, because money can help you get things. Absolutely. If I didn't spend money on this show, I wouldn't have the microphone or the equipment that I have today. If I didn't spend money on, say, like, you guys usually see me on StreamYard to broadcast to multiple places, like that costs money. You know what I mean? And the car that I wanted, the Mini Cooper, like if I didn't have money to get that, I wouldn't have it. Like there's certain things that I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have food to eat or a place to live, or, there's so many things that you can trade money for, right? So I started to see money as a tool to get what I needed, but also money, I think sometimes, like for me, I thought that money was something I got from one place. And that was the idea that I had until in 2020, when I left my employer. I started to watch, I remember, say like July or August, before I left in August, whatever. During the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020, I started to watch, I think it's on CNBC. No, I lie. It was on Bloomberg. I started to watch Bloomberg. And I remember as a kid, I used to, I was a weird kid. So as a kid, I used to watch Bloomberg because it had this ticker at the bottom. I had no idea what those numbers meant. I knew some were red and some were green, and that was it. So I said to myself, I said, well, what really is that? Like, what is that, right? And I started watching it a different way now, because now I'm 35 and no, 35, 36, 35. How old am I'm 36 now. I'm going to be 37. 35. Okay. So I'm 35 and I start watching this and I'm listening to what these people are saying, right? I'm listening to what these people are saying and I'm seeing the first thing. Now, no issues with Donald Trump. I think he's himself, right? I don't have any problems with him. I don't know him personally, okay? Some people be like, ugh, I can't. That's not how I feel about him. I think he's cool. I think he could have said some things differently. And I'm pretty sure he got an awesome learning experience from being the president and what that means. And that's where I lie with that. But anyway, I remember watching the TV and I remember them showing a picture of him speaking, or a video, I should say. They show a video of him speaking. And I forgot if it was the Dow or NASDAQ that they had the ticker, the stock ticker, next to his picture. And they showed like the stocks dropping a bit while he was speaking. And I found that interesting because for me, I don't take everything as face value. There's certain things I do. If somebody says like, get away from me, it's like, all right, well, you know what I mean? But for some reason I questioned. I said, well, why would someone with a channel put the picture or put the video of him speaking and then put a video of this stock ticker? Why would they do that? What is the point of that? I always question everything. So I'm like, why would somebody do that? And I'm like, well, it's perspective, because what they're showing is that based on what this person says, it affects these numbers. And that was the first time I started to realize what stocks were and how they worked. And I started to look up, I think his name is Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett, just to name just two people. I started to read books by them. I'll never forget, there was a day in 2020 when I just went on a nosedive of videos on YouTube about what stocks were and how they worked. And I remember my boss at the time, before I left, he was like, we're going to be in another recession. And I said, well, how do you know that? Like, how do you know that? He's like, we're going to be in a recession. We're going to be in a recession. I'm like, I was like, wait a minute. This stuff is predictable? You could predict this? And then I looked and I was like, oh my God, there's a pattern. There's a pattern. There's a pattern to the value of your dollar. Like there's a pattern to that. And if you look into it and you look into where the money's going, you start to learn like what money can do or can't do. You know what I mean? And that's where I started to dig into my relationships with money. And that led me to Christine Regan Lake that, helped me on the show, because I realized that with my illusion of money being something bad, I was actually moving in the frequency of not getting it because I didn't want to be labeled as a bad person, right? Heavy, I know. I don't know if you guys feel like that, but I encourage you, if you get anything from this show, look into your relationship with money. Like sit down with yourself, get a piece of paper and write down all your thoughts about money. Like get it outside of your head, whether it's on paper, on your phone, whether you do what I'm doing right now and just record something. Like really look at how you feel about money, because what we don't realize, our subconscious can't tell good or bad. Only our conscious can. Your awareness, like if you are aware of what's going on, then you label something as good or bad. But your subconscious cannot tell good or bad. Your subconscious just says it is, right? So the thing is, sometimes we don't even realize that we can get parts of how we see money from our parents, or something we saw on television, or when we watch somebody that it's like, oh, this guy had a lot of money and this is what he did with it. And then we're like, people with money are evil. They're not evil. They're not evil. Like some people think like, oh yeah, you just got to hand. A lot of these people, like some people look at these people that have these big houses and fast cars and things like that, or whatever it is that they have that signifies what society thinks is rich. Some people look down at people like that. And it's like, you don't even know what they did. You don't even know that they went into business on their own or knew how money worked. It's not a bad thing. Money itself is not bad. It's so funny. So for me, I know I like visuals. So what I did was to help me to have a better relationship with money being around me and welcoming it to me, to get rid of that money's the root of all evil idea that I chained myself to for so many years. I bought this rug. I know my girlfriend probably doesn't like it. She's probably like, it doesn't go with anything, but whatever. I literally purchased this rug from like Home Depot. It has like Benjamins all over it, like $100 bills, right? So when I do my episodes in this space, so when you guys see me at my desk, like underneath me, I got all this money. It's a money rug. Okay. It's not made out of money. It just has pictures of, $100 bills. Sorry. Well, Benjamins. Okay. I had to think. I was like, but his last name is Franklin. His name is Ben. Anyway, little lesson there for me. So that's me trying to have a better relationship with money, to see it around me and to welcome it. So that's the thing. Sometimes we don't realize, well, I'll say for myself, I didn't realize how much I was staying away from it. And what it eventually did was cause me to settle. I settled because I thought that, like I said, one space, I get one stream of income, which is with the employer or whatever. And that's how it should be. So gratefully so, when I left and I went down this nosedive, I should say, not dumpster dive, into stocks, I started to learn the tools the tool that money is and how to invest it. So I started investing. I literally said, for me, the only way that I can learn about money is by playing with it. And here's the first thing. I realized that everything is risky. Now, if you're going to invest, you got to be okay with risk. And I don't mean risk as in, let's put the house up. Don't do that. I'm going to use my rent. Don't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. If you do it, that's your business. But I would not recommend that, right? I told myself, I said, out of the money that, because I got addicted for a little bit. All right, I'm going to tell you about this. So I had a couple of dollars left for my 401k, like maybe like, was it 1,000? I forget how much. 5,000? I don't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had some money left for my 401k, and I said to myself, I said, okay, so I'm watching these stock channels, right? And they're saying, don't invest in this, and don't invest in that, and don't invest in this. And I was like, wait a minute. Why should I listen to these people? And are they accurate? Sometimes yes. But let me tell you, if you ever want to learn about investing, as far as in stocks, look up the company that you're going to invest in. That's one thing I learned from Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett. Just look at the company. Look at human history. And that's where you'll know where to put your money. Because the thing is, your goal is to make your money grow. Like think of money as seeds, right? Think of it as seeds. And you're planting those seeds and hoping that they become a tree or a breadfruit or an apple, right? You want to see it grow into something. You don't want it to just stay there. Like think about your relationships. You don't want your relationships to stagnate. You want it to grow, right? So what I realize is I put my money somewhere. Now, it's risky. It is risky. And it can be a little scary. And in the beginning, I was checking those stocks, like, on the iPhone, it has the stocks app. Oh my God, I started following so many stocks. Let me see if I could pull up any here. I remember I started following, when I tell you, I'm an extremist. So when I learn something, I obsess over it. Like I remember every morning I was getting up and working out and watching Bloomberg. It got really crazy. And I remember I was talking to shout out to Lamar. He's been on the show before. I was talking to him. I was like, yo, what should I invest in? What are you investing in? It was just a different conversation. So I also took part in investing in GameStop. Excuse me. I took part in investing in GameStop, made a couple of dollars, and those dollars are gone now. But anyway, in GameStop, got a nice return, and then took that money, put it back in stocks. And what I realized is that, like I said, research the company you're going to invest in. And then also, stocks are not meant, and although I know people use it that way, I mean, you can be a day trader. And what that means is like literally you put a certain amount of money in a stock, let it grow for a couple of days. And as soon as somebody says, no, you take the money that you made from it and then you flip that money again. So imagine like you bought imagine the little houses on Monopoly, right? You buy the house. And then somebody's like, hey, I can give you this much for it. You're like, oh, all right. And you give them the house. So it's not your house anymore, but you made the profit on it. You could do that. But to me, I like long-term investments. I want to go to a company or invest in a company that makes sense. So what I did was guys, I don't know how to say it to you in a way where it makes a lot of sense, but I was obsessed with stocks. I followed all the names of things I knew. I started following the airlines because that's how I was like, okay, what's going to happen to the airline industry? Because I saw an article that Warren Buffett pulled almost all his stocks from the airline industry. And that's how I knew that this pandemic was not going to be a year. That's the thing. Stocks and these channels can kind of help you see potentially what may happen. So I started I started following different stocks, and I looked at their history, and I realized that certain people, and it's so crazy because you start to realize like how many people own so many companies that you think are owned by more than one person, but it's just them. And I learned that with money, it can grow. passively, because this is passive income. It is. It's passive. You can't touch it, and I wouldn't recommend touching it right away. It gets taxed and all this other crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like legal gambling to me, you know? So I played around with some money, made some decent returns, and I felt good about it. And I learned that I don't need to hate money. I don't, I just needed to understand how it worked, because I couldn't understand how somebody can come from another country or be born here and have $0 and say, oh, I was poor. And then all of a sudden they're millionaires. Like, how does that happen? And then I realized it's time and saving. Time and saving. Time and saving. We were talking yesterday on Spontaneity that, a lot of these people just know how money works. And we were talking about how we spend a lot more than we really should sometimes. Like, it's okay to have that splurge every once in a while. But when it really comes down to it, like, you got to ask yourself, like, for example, to me, I think lottery, what the hell is the point of investing? Like, lottery to me is a waste of time. Like, it's literally, I think it was Dr. Jerome Butler that was on the show. It's like you have more of a chance of getting struck by lightning, or when I forget the statistic or whatever. But I was like, why would I pay $5 or $1 for a scratch off, right? There is a chance that I'll get my money back. There is a chance. But to me, I'm like, why would I buy that when I have a better probability of making double or more in like Bitcoin, or something like that? Like, I just didn't understand. But I get people do it for fun, right? That's why people go to casinos. They do it for fun. So I get it. Whatever. Everybody has their own thing. But for me, lottery, no. I would rather take the $5. Like, we were talking about this yesterday on Spontaneity. I'll link Spontaneity so that you guys know, because maybe some of you guys are just first hearing about it, because I'm working on my communication with you. I really am. I'm working on being more upfront with what I'm doing and when. So make sure you guys, since I'm working on that, follow me on Price on Purpose. That's one word. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on you can follow me on Podbean if you're listening to Podbean, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio. I am on Listen Notes. You can follow me on Instagram. I don't know if I said that already, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, like we were talking about taking the money that you would spend on coffee or your breakfast and just save that once a week and see what happens. Or look at how much, when I first moved here where I'm living now, I looked at how much I was spending on food delivery. Like, food delivery is very convenient. Anything time saving is great. I didn't realize how much I was spending. And then I got this app, Truebill. Truebill's an amazing app if you're looking to track your spending and your savings and stuff. I was spending $400 a month on freaking food deliveries. I was like, what? If I had taken that money and put it into an account or Bitcoin, do you know how much money I would have had right now? Oh my God. But you know what? It's not about would have and could have. It's about starting. That's my theme. I know Maria Daniels, my co-host, was talking about what's your word of the year? And I said, my word of the year is start. Because at first it was believe. Because I was like, with the whole what the hell is that show called? Ted Lasso, right? I was like, yeah, it's going to be believe. And although I want that to be my word of the year is start. Like, for all of you guys that want to learn how to get more money in your lives and to increase your savings, whether you have it or not, just start. I don't care if you have $1, 50 cents, whatever it is. Because sometimes we look at the big picture. We're like, I want to be a millionaire. But then we don't take any action. There's no action. There's just watching people that are millionaires, or I want to be a business owner. Take action. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Be okay with fucking it up. Like, be okay with that. And that's something I had to learn. I had to be okay with fucking it up. Like, I told myself, I said, Stace, you're going to learn about these stocks. You might fuck up. Like, just don't fuck up too much. So I had to tell myself that. And I learned to embrace the risk and to learn from it. That's the thing. That's how you grow. You learn from it. Like, think about if you were a kid, right? Or when you were a kid, look at how much resilience you had as a child. Like, somebody was like, oh, she's walking. Oh, he fell over. Oh. You know what I mean? But you still tried, right? Even though you fell, you might have cried, you might have scraped your knee, you still tried and you still did it. As an adult, we need to embrace our imagination and embrace that childlike part of ourselves. Don't lose it. Like, celebrate that. Be like, look, I might fuck this up, but I'm going to keep trying until I get it. Just do it. Whether you're starting a business, you're working to get an extra stream of income, just start. And it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to fuck it up. Just try something. Try it. So here's my idea. Okay, guys? What I would love for you to do is let me know, how do you manage your money? What are some money tips that you can share with other listeners? You know what I mean? Like, what are some things that you guys do, or what type of accounts do you open, or why? Tell us why it works for you. Like, don't just be like, yo, open a money market. Like, why should I? Why should I? So I'll tell you what I do. So for me, every couple of weeks, I put $1 or $2 in a Bitcoin. I don't put as much as I did before because my finances changed a little bit, but I put some money in a Bitcoin, and I put some money into like a savings account. Not really a savings, like I don't know how to describe it. I just put some money in an account and I try not to look at it, right? And then I also take the tips that I make, because I do food deliveries as one source of income. I take any cash that I get. So sometimes customers give me cash. I don't spend it. I put it into like a old school piggy bank. Like, it doesn't look like that. It's not a piggy bank, but I literally put it in something like that, and I don't touch it. And I call that, like, what do people call it? Like petty cash? Is that what it's? I don't know what the frick it's called. But anyway, I do that. And that's money that I'll use. Like, if my girlfriend and I want to go on a date and I'm like, oh, let's get some ice cream or something like that. Like, that's what that cash is for. So yeah, just know that you are limitless. Just don't forget that you are limitless. The only limits that we have exist in our minds. Like, literally today I saw on the Ellen show, there's a 6-year-old motivational speaker. His name is like Cole or something like that. 6 years old. Okay. When I looked at this kid, I was like, here I am, like sitting here, like behind my microphone, like, I can only do this. I'm like, this kid is 6 years old and went on the Ellen show and is motivational speaking. 6. Okay. There's a kid out there, I think that was 6, 7 at the time. He is a millionaire and all he does is review toys online. That's it. He plays with toys, okay? Embrace your childlike self. Embrace that piece in your adult life and start saving. I don't care if you're 18 and this podcast is to you and you're just like, yo, I'm just 18 and I can't do anything with my life. You could do so much. You can do so much. Don't think that you have to wait to be an adult to invest, or don't think you have to wait to be an adult to save. And even if you are an adult and you're like, oh my God, my life is over. It's not over until your heart stops beating. It's not over. So even if you're like 72 or 44 or 38 or whatever you are, just start with $1. Like, it takes just that. Start investing. And by investing, I mean saving. Start saving for you. Don't spend it. Check your behavior. Check your behavior. Be like, look, if I leave it here, I'm going to spend it. So if you're going to do that, don't put it there. Don't put it there. Start saving. You can start at any time with as much money as you like. Right now, I'm actually in the process of transitioning my accounts to Capital One. I think right now They had a great article post before the new year saying that, and I'm a little hesitant about this, but they were saying that they're getting rid of overdraft fees for their customers. I don't know what level of account you have to have with them to qualify for that. I'm curious to see how it works. But look, like, who wants to be kicked when they're down already, right? There are some accounts you can open. I'm sure Capital One's not the only one. I have GoBank. GoBank is awesome. You can overdraft that account if you have that moment where you need like $20 or whatever. Overdraft that account, pay it back next time. There's so many options for accounts that will help you and work with you so that you can save versus charging you overdraft fees because you don't have the money at the time, because a lot of these companies were making millions, probably billions off of overdraft fees. Okay. It's kind of messed up, but whatever. I get it. It's a business, but really do some research and check what your monetary goals are for your life. Really look into that and what you want. Like, I did my 2022 vision board that I have up here right now. I'm so grateful that I took the chance to make it and not think so much about what it looked like. So if you want to see what it looks like, just follow me on Facebook, Stacey Price. But yeah, I put up some of my goals and I'm like, well, how the hell am I going to get there? Right. So like, I need money to do like half of the things on my freaking board. But it starts with a start and be consistent. Like, that's it. Start and don't stop. Like, be consistent. Do it every day. Do it once a week. Whatever your consistency level is, just start. And I encourage you, like, if you're learning to increase your income, like, check out Spontaneity. Check out Mastering Your Side Hustle by Maria Daniels. She puts some really great tips on how to like build your financial portfolio so you can get your goals or hit your monetary goals. And do a vision board. Write down those things that you really want this year in a monetary sense. Like, really sit down with yourself. Like, no bullshit. Sit down with yourself and figure out what you want and stick with it. And even if you do want to change it, I saw something online today. I'll leave you with this because I gotta go. Where is it? I saved it on my phone because I was like, that's something I need to remember. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action becomes reality. Okay? Do that shit. You're a badass. Frickin' do that shit. Guys, I want to thank you so much for listening to this bonus episode of Price on Purpose. Once again, I am your host, Stacey Price. Make sure to follow me at Price on Purpose. One word, Price spelled with a Y. So that's PRYCEONPURPOSE. I had to think about it for a second. Price on Purpose. One word. Make sure you go follow me. You can check out my link tree. It's in the show notes. You could purchase Price on Purchase. Price on Purpose merchandise. You can purchase it through the link in my link tree. It's literally so easy. It's got a little like thing just bouncing around, so you'll be able to find the Price on Purpose merch, so you can help support this podcast so I can continue giving you the show for free. And I have this great new shirt that I made. I hope you guys like it. It says that I get a heart on for integrity. I thought it was funny because it's like a heart on, but it's not. It's heart on. Ha ha. Dad joke moment. Yeah. So definitely go check out the Price on Purpose merchandise. Go get your hoodies if you want, something to keep you warm. And once again, guys, I want to thank you so much for listening to this show. Thank you so much for the listeners, whether you're in New York. I was looking at the metrics the other day. So if you're in New York, South Africa, Italy, I really appreciate you guys. Brooklyn, New York, Long Island, California, Florida, wherever you guys are in the United States or Europe or Australia. Thank you so much for listening. And of course, what helps me the most is if you share this episode with a friend. Share it on your social media. Tag me in it. Like, you have my social media, be like, look, Stacey, I shared. Like, I really love when you share the episode. I greatly appreciate that. And I just hope you have a kick-ass day. And I'll see you guys again next week for a new episode of Price on Purpose. We're going to do Wednesdays and Thursdays. So Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. You can catch me on the YouTubes, and Twitch as well. Yeah, and then Thursday, we're going to be dropping these episodes. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye now.